So we can start. Good day. I'm Dusan Stojkovic from Serbian National Registry, CCTLD Registry. I will start with acronyms to bother you, and I hope that my panelists will not use those acronyms, so you will get the clear picture of IDNs now. My panelists, I will start with Ilya Bazlyankov, Core Association. I must look at the screen because he wear a bunch of hats on his head, so he will explain those hats. So after that, Jim Beveridge from Microsoft, one of the guy who do universal acceptance in wider sense than IDNs. After that, Giovanni Seppia from EuroDIG, or should I say on .ua, EU, or Cyrillic one. Okay. Liana Galstian from Armenia, it's written ISOC Armenia, but it's also CCTLD in Armenia. She will explain that. And Andrew Romanov, CCTLD RU. So, very crowded is here, so I will ask everybody, do you know what is IDNs, what it means, or what is it? Do you know what is the meaning of IDNs? Nobody? Yes, you know. Can you explain to us?
I think it's better to tell the... No, I don't have enough space. Well,
It's not too crowded.
It's not that I'm shy. It's that I'm sitting in a different part of the room, so that's why I was suggesting. Internationalized IDNs are the domain names that are internationally recognized and used universally across the countries, right? Yes.
Thank you. So I will start with Ilya, and he will explain IDN domains in Bulgaria or in the region. I don't know which hat you put on.
I can wear many hats at once. But IDN domains in the region for the moment are only CCTODs. The first one was .rf from Russia. I think 2010 was delegated. And then we have .srb.
Don't steal the story.
.srb, .ukr, and also Kazakhstan and some other Middle Asian countries. Two of the IDN CCTODs that were applied together from the region were rejected. One of them was .bg for Bulgaria, and the other was .epsilon lambda for Greece. Thanks to ICANN for introducing the appeal procedure in the IDN CCTOD fast track. Since October 2014, both Bulgaria and Greece got their strings. What is my involvement with IDNs? From one side, I started in 2007 the project for Bulgarian IDN CCTOD. We did some public meetings, consultations. We selected the string BG. and the community said that they will not accept anything else. That's why there was a governmental decision not to apply for another string if Bega is not approved. I guess in Greece the situation is similar. I also represent two new IDN GTODs, .site and online, which were applied through the ICANN new GTOD program. They are more universal, not like the CCTODs tied to the country. They are acceptable and recognizable in Russia, Bulgaria, Ukraine, and Belarus. From them, we see some interest, but not as expected.
Okay, Ilya. So we are talking about IDNs, or let me explain a little bit more. We are talking about Bulgarian IDNs that was written on Cyrillic. So let me ask you one thing. Why do you need them? Why do you need Cyrillic on IDNs?
Well, because
it's a mess. Why?
Because first, with IDNs, you give access to the internet to more people that, for example, do not speak English. We had some posts that in villages, even people do not understand the Latin alphabet. I don't remember the percentage. So it will be very useful for them. I see the need for IDNs for very local projects, local websites like a local bakery or something that is not needed to be with a Latin domain and accessible from San Francisco, for example. It's also a matter of national, let's say, pride to have a domain in your own alphabet. Also, it's good for brands. You can get your brand or your name of the village written exactly as it is, not to transliterate in different ways. For example, the city of Panagurište or Koprivnica in Bulgaria can have up to 6 transliteration options.
Thanks. So you answer like it was something cultural thing or something like that. It was you want to have Cyrillic domain to bring all Bulgarian people to use those kind of domains. But I will ask Jim next about his opinion of universal acceptance. And we will define this term during this session. It's not written here, but we will define it. You will see why. So, Jim.
Okay, so thanks, Dushan. Thank you for that, and thank you for the invitation to today's session. So I have to start off by making a couple of confessions. So my first confession is maybe my voice isn't as strong as it should be, but that's maybe due to the karaoke last night. I didn't just sing enough songs. That's the theory. The second confession I have to make is I'm not an expert on IDNs by any means. I'm a newbie that comes to it. So please bear with me, because I have been meeting people who have said, I've said, how long have you been doing universal access? And they said, I've been doing universal access for 15 years. Well, I've been doing it 1.5 months. So please bear with me. So, and I've got a slightly different take.
You are learning now.
This is why I'm here, to learn from my peers.
It's educational.
This is an educational thing for me. So let me just start a little bit by saying that in Microsoft, universal access is quite, apart from the fact me being a newbie, it's a big thing for Microsoft universal access. And so how they define it is that everyone in the language of choice, anywhere at any time, and regardless of the device, an app, or website, should have access to the services in the language of choice at any time. So that's the basic principle.
Wait for a minute.
Yeah.
Is that what Ilya told us about Cyrillic domain names in Bulgaria?
Well,
in a sense, or
in a sense, we're getting there. I think it's work in progress. I think it's a good principle to have, but there's various different steps until we get there. And one of the biggest steps that we have worldwide is that there's over 4.5 billion people who don't have access to the internet. So when I worry about the universal access part, a big part of my worry is these people that don't have any access. So I spend a lot of time working on how I get them access. And the two main regions are Africa and Asia Pacific. They are the places that don't have it. And of course, language and character sets in Africa are okay because they're generally Latin access parts. But in Asia Pacific, it's a big issue. So one of the ways that we're overcoming that, given that we want everybody to be on the web, because more and more services are coming from the cloud to the devices directly, is that some people, like Google, are doing balloons. They're sending up balloons and giving people access in balloons. Facebook are doing drones. What we're doing is we're repurposing spectrum. So we're lowering the cost of connectivity by repurposing the airwaves. And we have a little saying, there's a group we're a member of called the Dynamic Spectrum Alliance, and they say that 90% of the spectrum and 90% of the locations is unused 90% of the time. So we are effectively using that stuff to give low-cost connectivity. This is something that was started by Bill Gates. So we're using that to give connectivity to the people to bring them on board. Okay?
okay?
I'm learning.
here.
You're learning. So, but that's part of our universal acceptance. And then we've also got universal acceptance characteristics and a definition for that. We've got 4 things. Identity, which really talks to the culture. And the part it's effectively you can express yourself in your local language. That is part of your identity. There's email, which has got to be just more than the text. It's also got to be the addressing of the email. It's going to have the ability to browse the internet in your local language and character set of choice. And then when it comes to applications should also reflect that as well. You should be able to have these things in applications. So these are 4 characteristics of universal acceptance.
Thanks, Jim. So back to IDNs, Giovanni. Why EuroDIG will have a Cyrillic domain? I don't understand you at all.
Okay, thank you, Dusan, and thank you for the opportunity to be in this panel today. It's a good question, and let me just clarify a couple of points as I see that there is a need for some literacy. So when we speak about internationalized domain names, we speak both at the second level and the top level. So to enable the end user to have a full, truly experience in their own language, we should have IDNs, internationalized domain names, both at the second level and at the top level. And in most of the cases, the rule should be that the second level script must match the top level script. So only Cyrillic domain names should be empowered under a Cyrillic top-level domain. And that is, again, to facilitate end-user approach, end-user access, and to make sure they have a truly multilingual experience in their own language. At EuroDIG, EuroDIG is the .eu Registry Manager since 2004, appointed by the European Commission. We are the registry manager that supports the 24 European Union languages, not only from the support perspective that we provide to our end users and our registrars, but also from the perspective of the scripts that we enable at the second level. So at the second level, we launched IDNs in 2009, and we have been supporting all the characters belonging to the all 24 official languages of the European Union since 2009. Later on, when ICANN started to allow the possibility for country code top-level domains to have their own extension in other scripts, we applied for the .eu in Cyrillic and the .eu in Greek. And I'm not going to tell you the entire story, because that could be until the end of tomorrow. But because ICANN procedures sometimes can be quite tricky. But when we applied, we were given the green light for the .u in Cyrillic. So technically, that can be empowered and launched at any time. But there were some issues and weaknesses and troubles regarding the .u in Greek, which is still pending in the ICANN beautiful procedure limbo. And that has been like that for the past 4 years. So I guess I will retire and I'll speak to my nephews about the .u in Greek, and that's going to be not delegated yet to us yet. But it's a hope. So I hope to tell my nephews one day that there is .u in Greek available. In any case, you asked me why. And since 2011, we have been investigating the beautiful IDN word. And this is a study that we have been developing with the UNESCO, because they are into supporting multilingualism at international level, and also with VeriSign, which is the operator of .com and .net. And what we found out is that there is an in-depth correlation between internationalized domain names and linguistic diversity on the internet. So that whenever there is an IDN domain name that is in the market, chances that the content of the website to which this domain name results to, that this content is in a language which is not one of the primary languages of the internet, but is in one of those other languages which are, in IDN, it's much, much higher. And we have done this study not only for our zone file, so for the scripts that we support, but also for the .com, .net, and also other top-level domains. And we have seen that the correlation is above 40%. So whenever there is an IDN, the content of the website linking to that domain name is very much linking to the script, the language of the IDN. So in our case, a lot of the domain names under .u that are in Greek, chances that the content is in Greek is above 50%. The same about Cyrillic domain names, and the same about the IDN in the Latin extended script, which means the German umlauts or the French or Italian accented letters or Spanish. The content is there. The content is in a language which is not the standard language of the internet. So that's why we have been promoting really a lot the introduction of IDNs, both at the second level and also at the top level.
Thank you. Can I say like this? You're trying to get universal acceptance of domain names in the whole Europe. Is it?
Yeah, that's indeed the boundary, because because .u domain names can be registered only by residents of the European Union. Yes. But we have also been working a lot to investigate universal acceptance from the IDN perspective with registries like the Korean registry or the Chinese registry, who have done a lot with providers like Microsoft, Google, to make sure that those who were going to have an IDN domain name, they were able to have IDN emails, which was one of the criticalities until last year. Were able to enjoy the possibility to have to use IDNs in social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook, which until the beginning of 2014 they were not able to allow IDNs to after a certain extent. So it's true that we are working in the boundaries, but thanks to the cooperation we have with UNESCO, we are also working at a worldwide level to promote multilingualism and IDNs.
Okay, so there is a problems. I see the problems in IDN world. Thank you, Giovanni.
You're welcome.
Liana, what are you doing there in Armenia? You have another script, I heard. So, explain, please.
What are we doing? We're just starting to do things. We have received our IDN it has been delegated 1 month ago. We applied for it a year ago, but And now we're in a stage of preparation for launching, for having a sunrise period. So we are quite new in this thing. But we have a vast discussion in a country with the community. Do we need this idea? This discussion had a long story. Some years ago, community wasn't ready for this. As Ilya told, the IDN gives more access to internet if it would be an IDN. We had that discussion several years ago, and we had a contrary idea that people do not need the national script to have an access to the content because it has no direct connection with the domain name. The domain name can be in Latin, but the content can be a national one. But later on, when the picture has been changed, we realized that there is a direct connection, actually, when you want to express something very specifically in that scripts, in that sounds, as you told, the name of the village or something, which has no reflection in Latin, 26 letters. We have, for example, in Armenian, 39 sounds, 39 letters, scripts, and we cannot, we're trying hard to write it in Latin alphabet. Like we have the sounds like ts, ch, sh, well, sh is okay, ch. It's really difficult for people, and they try somehow to bring the correct pronunciation or correct writing, and it makes a problem for our users. That's why the community decided that it is time now to have Armenian IDN, and we're happy that it had been delegated from ICANN. And we are just on this stage of starting the process with IDN. But I wanted to come remark on that work you did with Twitter and Facebook. You succeeded. It's thank you for this great job, because I see the tweets and Facebook remarks in Armenian, and I love that. I see it in my own language, and it's great. And I hope to have this problem solved in emails as well. Hopefully.
Thank you, Liana. So, one remote, sorry. Oksana?
Thank you. Alexander Tsaruk would like to ask what users and community should do to push software vendors to update their products to solve at least copy-paste and IDN email address problems.
Okay. What? Okay. Did you hear the question? Who wants to answer? Maybe Microsoft.
I'm a software vendor. So I guess it's, yeah. So I think there's already a lot of pressure being applied to this issue. I know that we've been doing a lot of trials in, for example, in May we went to Thailand and worked with the Thai government, and we did some really good script examples where the entire email address was in Thai. So we're doing that. We're working a number. When you've got a lot of products, it's complex to do that because there are interdependencies between the different products. So you can work on something that maybe works with Office 365. Something else will work with Outlook 2013 and maybe not work with Outlook 2016. So there's a lot of, especially when you've got a lot of product lines as we have, this is not an excuse, by the way, it's just the principle and the intent is there. It just takes a little while to get all the stuff into place because it's not just, you're just not targeting one device, you're actually targeting an entire ecosystem, and all the different parts of that ecosystem have to be in line to allow that stuff to flow through in a way that makes sense. So yes, please do keep the pressure going. It's always good to be pressurized. And we're working hard.
I will be answering also in front of Universal Acceptance Steering Group. I'm involved in solving those problems, and eventually I'm co-chair of one project group for IDNs, and we started to work with vendors and developers to solve those issues. So there is a place, and the guy can join, because this is bottom-up process. So next, I want to hear a good story from Russia, very successful story. So, Andrew, can you please explain?
It is a good choice to be the last speaker, because of everything was told by previous speaker. Thank you for Giovanni for the good coverage of the issue. And speaking about the story of .rf domain name, I want to say that we are operating till 2010, and sorry, I want to say that our operation was very successful, because of today we are the first ranked IDNs in the world, and maybe the .rf is 19th ranked in the whole Europe between the all CCTLDs, and this one we have above 843,000 domain names in operation, and it is a very good result based on our powerful marketing company at the initial stage of the registration. And we still do the promotion of IDN in Russia, and we promote our registrar, which do the IDN registration. And I need to say about our another project, I mean, Netoscope. It is, I think it's a unique project. This project is for analysis and reporting the malicious activity in the .rf and .ru domains also. And because of the cooperation with our major information company like Yandex and Mail.ru, and the cooperation with information security companies like Kaspersky Laboratory and Information Security Group, we do much. We do the Russian internet much safer, because of we stop the malicious activity in the different domain names. And I think the whole audience of our domain name is previously the Russian government and state institution, then the Russian companies, the companies in with the names in Russian language, and the project of national coverage, Russian media, and so on. I think we have a good success, and that's why we will promote the IDNs in Russia and in all over the world. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. So I will ask you one question, and I will ask the whole audience. When Ilya mentioned those names of the villages in Bulgarian, I'm starting to wonder, domain names, are the domain names addresses or content? What is your opinion about that?
I want to say that domain names is only the names. It's not a content, and in Russia we have the same problem as in Bulgaria, because of, and in Armenia also, because of we need to transliterate the names of maybe different names, names of company, names of villages and cities and so on. And from time to time, it's a good challenge to write down the name in the proper way.
So you don't think
that's why it's not a content.
It's not a content. Anybody else? Jim?
So I'm just going to say, I think maybe there is an issue in terms of, especially with new top-level domain names. There was a survey undertaken at the beginning of the year where they asked 10,000 people if they trusted the new domain names, and they found out that 49% of people don't trust them because they're used to the .nets, the .coms, so they don't really. So I think as part of this process, there's an educational process to go on as to explain what these things are, especially the new ones as the new ones come along in the local languages. So I think there's a trust factor that has to be looked at. Not sure that answers it, but it's a...
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I would like to ask. I used to work in a registry company for more than 10 years. And those people who come and ask me what is a domain name, they don't know what is it. And all I told them, it's a name, it's a website, it's the name of your website. But I want to add to your comment that it has a direct connection with content as well, because it makes some relation with the name and the content. Yes, formally talking, it is a name. It is an address. Address is in a technical language, so that computers know the address is only. For people, it's easy to say it is the address. But it has now a connection with the content as well. I think so, probably.
Okay, audience.
I'm here from Georgia, and we also have our own script, and we applied, recalled an IDN from ICANN. So our process might last longer than EU's one, so we're waiting for their response. We are changing what has been assigned already. And because there were some problems with the assigned name already, but the question is, and it's still discussed in Georgia, and because we're a small country and normally IDNs, or let's say local content and local language addresses, are less popular than the international Latin ones, right? So I wanted to ask about your experience. As it was mentioned, there was a massive campaign, marketing campaign in Russia prior to take up, or what are the measures normally taken in your countries to promote IDNs? Normally it's not popular at all.
So basically what you are asking, is there a money in this business? Okay. Okay. Yuri?
I am Yuri Kargopolov. I'm from Ukraine, administrator of cctld.ukr in Cyrillic. And I have honor represent Ukraine with 36 million population. I think that domain names is not only mark, is not only names, because with these names is born beyond, born with content. And this is a question. Is this Andrei Romanov only name? No. No. Is Dusan Stoichevich only name? Giovanni Sepia only name? No. I think it's a big content. It's a big human content.
It's a human.
We say now about internet plane. This is a big content. And IDN is very important thing, that this content should be understanding for not much people in the world. Thank you.
Thanks. Is it okay? Panos, Greece.
Thank you, Dusan. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Panagiotis Papaspiliopoulos. I'm working for the Minister of Infrastructure of Greece. I'm not going to tell you again the stories that already Ilya and Giovanni said about the Greek application for the Greek IDNCS TLD. Fortunately, the result is positive for us. The reason that we applied for this is that Greece, although it's an ancient language, it is spoken only by Greeks, which has small population compared to the world population. But we would like to have our cultural identity in the global internet community. And we don't expect to have money, as you asked before, but we should be there providing our linguistic and cultural diversity through our language in the internet. Together with my colleague from Georgia, I would like first to congratulate .rf for their success and in IDNs. And I would like to ask you, also, what kind of measures have you taken by the government side in order to promote the use of IDNs? It was only an advertisement campaign. It was measures that the government took. It was some initiatives that first were applied in the government field. What did you do so to make so successful the IDNs in Russia? Thank you very much.
Okay, I saw another hand.
Can I answer?
Do you want to ask? Let them. Okay.
I want to thank our government for the strong support of the .rf domain name. During all the period of the beginning, we feel the support from our government. From the first stages of the project, they help us to do our job. And in the time of negotiation with ICANN, and in the time when we began the advertising company in the mass media and so on. And the second point was that the government talked to the governmental authorities and state companies to have domain names in Cyrillic. And the first domain name which was registered in .rf IDN was president.rf and the Kremlin.rf. And speaking about the advertising company, I should say that we use all the media we have for our disposal. It was television, radio, and printed mass media, and also internet. We produced some video materials and some website for advertising IDN. Maybe I can tell a very long story about this campaign. I should say that we have about a year and a half when we advertise these domain names. And the result was good, I think. Maybe if you need some support, informational support from our side in your project, we can help you. Please don't hesitate to ask us.
Thank you. The first question from Georgia was, is there a money in... basically, it was a bit longer than... So, can anybody answer?
just like to answer a bit of the questions. First of all, again, according to the study that we have been doing since 2011, there is always content in local language associated to an IDN domain name. So that's why we should all, those who are not English or fully Latin script based, we should all work for deploying IDNs in the root, because that's important to save our languages, to show how important our languages are in the internet. Otherwise, we are a bit slave of the classic internet languages. And at the same time, we are between slave and spoiled by those languages. So by deploying IDNs, there is an extra chance that we have content in the local language in the website that is linked to the domain name. If there is business around IDNs, well, again, it's quite premature to say if there is business. There are business opportunities. Indeed, there is still a lot of work to be done to support IDNs throughout the internet. But a lot of steps have been made in the past couple of years. And that's really important to underline the effort made by the big providers, including Google, to empower people to use their own languages in the internet. At the same time, there is still a lot to be done. At the same time, there is a lot of education to be done among the end users in a country, among the registrars of a country, because the providers through which domain names are sold to the market, they also have to be educated. And in the last year study that we have done at the registry and registrar level, we unfortunately saw a downward trend. So registries and registrars, they believe there is less and less demand of IDNs because people are not educated to be able to ask for IDNs. So there is a big investment that has to be made whenever you as a registry, you like to launch IDNs. Being at the second level or being at the top level, there is an investment that must be done by the registry operator. And the best investment is done in cooperation with the other players in the market, especially in the local market, because without the synergy, the uptake of IDNs will be, extremely modest. So again, it's a great call for a great cooperation at the local level to support and deploy IDNs.
Thanks. So, one more question from the audience. Another one. Oh, Daniel. Yeah.
Oh, hello everybody. My name is Florian. I'm from Austria, and I want to come back on what the gentleman in the red T-shirt said, because he said domain names are way more than just names. I have to disagree with that in a certain degree, because the purpose, why we have domain names is just to make it readable and suitable for people and to remember. For example, google.com you can remember. I mean, of course you can deliver a little bit of the content or the headline of the content, especially with the new possibilities of anything else. That's a great possibility, but nevertheless, it's just a name with nothing more, because you can't write a whole article in your domain name. That's not how it works. The content is in the web page and not in the domain name. Thanks.
63 characters are there, just for ASCII domain names. Next one.
Thank you, Dusan. I'll be brief. My name is Jonathan Frakes, and I'm here as a volunteer, in a role as a volunteer from the Mozilla Foundation. I have an opportunity to donate time in a very interesting and positive project called the Public Suffix List, which many of you may have heard about. If you have not heard about this, it's a list that affects how browsers, search engines, email, different programs behave with respect to TLDs and understanding the rightmost portion of a string. And the reason I stood up is that I've had the privilege of working with this project for quite some time because I have a very good exposure in the development community, but also happen to have a foot in I call it the ICANN world, where I get to know many of you. I have the privilege of knowing many of you CCTLD operators. And when we get requests to update information, it's very important that we validate that with the registries, and we also want to make sure from time to time that registries can review the material there so that they understand that it represents what they're actually doing at the registry. So I would like each of you, if you would, to have a discussion or get my card so that I can walk you through what this is and help you understand, because this is an incredibly strong tool for helping with universal acceptance. It's the widest used file out there for enabling people in multiple languages to use these domains. So thank you.
Okay, let me just add, what is universal acceptance? We didn't answer it yet. Daniel.
Okay, Daniel Kaucher from register.bg. I would like to address is there money in IDNs point. And you will be surprised because I am not going to tell you whether there are money in IDNs or not. But just give you some ideas for thinking on that topic. Our registry is relatively old. And I can tell you that, say, 25 years ago, running a CCTLD registry or even one of the biggest registries like .com or .net or whatever they were, was just a lot of hard work and no money involved. You had to spend a lot of money to make all these things work, to educate all people why they should use at the time domain names and not UUCP or net addresses. And after many, many years, this thing became a big industry with a lot of influence, politics, and whatever involved. The technical part, which is what a registry does, has not changed at all. We just use the contemporary equivalent of the tools we used at the time, and that's it. We may present users with fancier websites, better interfaces, more automation and things like that, but that's not the core task of the registry. Anyway, now about the IDNs in particular, I will use as an example the Greek language in Greece. People still write books in Greek. Even if the Greek alphabet is used by very small number of people, relatively speaking, and even if it would be much more profitable to write the book in English or in probably Russian or Portuguese even. But they still write the book in English, in Greek. Sorry. And they do this for many reasons. Probably the most important reason is that this is how they can express themselves best. Another reason is that by writing the book in Greek, they can reach people whom they would never reach if they write the book in English or any other language. And probably the third most important for writers point is that they want their own language and their own culture to continue to exist. So back to the are there money in IDNs? Yes, there are a lot of money to be spent on IDNs for many years to come. Whether there will be profit from IDNs, I don't know. If you have a good business model, you are not wasting your income and things like that on useless things, not related to your primary task as a registry. You may even turn into profit soon.
Thank you. So, any comment, Panos? Sorry.
Thank you. I would like to second what Daniel said about the writers in Greek language. It's this straight combined with the cultural identity that I said in my previous intervention. Regarding the universal acceptance that you just mentioned before, Dusan, I would like to say something. All governments, even they use Latin alphabet or Greek or Russian or any other kind of string, they promote the e-government inside their own country for their citizens. And, excuse me, and a European dialogue has started inside the European Union member states about the digital single market. And one of the aspects is the cross-border e-commerce. Universal acceptance, I think it is very crucial to be solved in order to achieve a goal like this. For example, if I want to buy something from Bulgaria, for example, and I see a Cyrillic email and I have a Greek email, I should communicate and do my business both ways with my client or my vendor in Bulgaria and the other way back without any boundaries regarding the IDNs. I think this is it's very important, and it's very also important to achieve to have acceptance in IDNs, not only in browsing or, of course, email, it's very crucial, but also to all kinds of devices. More and more people are using mobile devices, mobile phones, not only for e-commerce, not only for browsing, for many, many other things, for internet banking, to pay the taxes, anything. And this is very important, I think, in order to promote the use of IDNs, because that is why IDNs come to cover the needs of the local country, of the local people. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks. Any reflection on
sorry, I already
those?
have a microphone and I will answer the
Yes.
first. Excuse me. As an answer to the last speaker, I want to say that universal acceptance is not universal universal decision of all the problem. I think we need to mix different technologies, different approaches, and different business models in the on the international level in the different businesses. And as an answer for the Daniel speech, I want to say that we should remember the word diversity when we're speaking about the different scripts. And as about a business, I want to say that about 20% of our income is from the IDN, and that's why it's a good business, I want to say. Thank you.
Giovanni.
Thanks again, and as I have to rush to the next meeting, I'd just like to invite you, if you are interested in this topic, to read the annual report we published with UNESCO and Verisign, which is publicly available on our site, EuroDIG, and you can download it. Again, there is a very interesting first part which gives you a high-level overview of the IDN penetration. We are working on the 2015 edition, which is going to be launched in the next 3 months, 4 months, and so by September it should be published. And I invite any of you, if you like, to get more information about IDNs, feel free to contact me. My email address is giovanni@euro.eu. So I'll be happy to answer anytime. So thanks, and again, sorry that I have to leave earlier. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thanks, Giovanni. Liana, would you like anything to add?
No, since we do not have an experience of income or something like that regarding IDN, I can say what we have about our .am. So far, we are working more than 15 years as a CCTLD. We have 22,000 registrations, domain registrations, and our expectation for IDN is around, for the first period, probably 5 or 10,000, being optimistic. 5, yeah. But this is only expectations. We made a bet on this. And, I hope someone will win that. As for the support from the government, I want to say that we had a support from our government while we submitting the proposal to the ICANN, and it is done by the Ministry of Transport and Communication. They, since ISOC Armenia, coming back to their question why it is written ISOC Armenia. ISOC Armenia, though, is an NGO, but we are at the same time CCTLD for .am, and we are very successfully in doing this thing for 15 years. And the Minister of Transport and Communication trusted us and supported, and they are with us. We are cooperating with them, and they supported our IDN application as well. So this is the support from the government.
Ilya, can you add something? Because you have a business running on IDNs.
Yes, again with the two heads. From one side, a Score Association, Site and Tone Wine. We sent to ICANN a business plan for like 50,000 names for the first year, which of course didn't happen. At the moment, after 1 year, we have in total around 6,000. So this IDN business is also supported by other income. The same for .bg. We made some scenarios, and in most of them, with the expected number of 2,000 names for the first year, this .bg will not be sustainable, so it has to be supported by other means.
Okay. So basically, can I add something? You must talk with all stakeholders, government, society, as in Armenia, to build one successful IDN like in Russia. Can it be like that? Or you expect something more?
Let me just reply a little, a short answer. We do not expect to have a profit on this. I think the IDN in our case, it's a meaning of national identity. This is given a people something that their right, their human right is supported. They have the right to see the national script, to have the space in the internet. And we do not, well, of course, if it will be a profitable thing like in Russian experience, that would be very good. But it is not the only reason of launching the IDN, especially the CCTLD thing.
Okay.
The examples of .bg and .hi in Armenia, I want to say that we need to use the different business model in different local situation. We have a very good basement for business solution in .rf with .ru domain names. We have all the technical solutions, all the organizational solutions, and so on. We have the support, and we can do business based on the .rf domain. And I think in the new domain names, in Cyrillic, maybe in Russia, and like Moskva, like Deity, and so on, maybe with domain name Moskva, it will be a good business opportunity to the registry to have this Cyrillic domain name and to do business with it. But I need to say once more that we need to use a different business model appropriate for the business situation in the region.
Okay. One simple question. You were talking about IDNs like a cultural thing. Do you think that this, what we are all doing in IDN world, will separate internet, fragmented, or something like that? So, are we building? Are we breaking the global? The global thing? Are we doing something to fragment it, to break the whole internet with those IDNs? Because I think that, I don't know, Panos cannot understand Bulgarian, and he is not interested in Bulgarian villages or something like that to see, or something like that. Any reflection?
I don't think that this may fragment the internet. Just as an example of Armenia, we have a very big diaspora worldwide. And we think, just on the contrary, this will unite those who do not know, did not have chance to see the language in own script. They will use this chance to come to this content, to come to these domains, to see their own script in the internet. I don't think this can fragmentate the internet, but there is a small chance for that. Though people will use whatever they want in their own script. As for the thing you talk about, the villages or something.
Villages in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
For example, Greek. We are using
you're
Greece
talking
as
about
an
Daniel that
everything.
he's not interested in Bulgarian, reading all that content. You know, maybe he's not interested in reading that content. It is not the only thing about the script. It is about the content. Even if he knows English and he can reach out to this content, he's not interested in reading it. So we can look at this issue on that angle.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if I am interested in something, I can read in that language which I know, my native and the others which I know.
Okay. Andrew?
I will be very short. I want to say that using the IDNs, we do not work for. We work for integrity of the internet. We build the open internet for everybody, everywhere. And I want to mention the multi-stakeholder procedure, which was used in a fast track when we are prepared the rules for IDNs in ICANN. This procedure shows the opportunity of multi-stakeholderism doing some policy decisions. And that's why I think we should speak about, not about
breaking
breaking internet into pieces,
the global
but
rule.
we work for integrity of the internet.
Okay. Ilya, do you want to add
Just
something?
to mention my opinion on that is that I think having internet only in Latin or in Chinese, if it was created in China, is the main division, because it divides people that understand English or Chinese and that don't understand. So having IDNs gives the equal opportunity to everyone.
Thanks. Daniel, you wanted something?
How to say it? I think that the reports that the internet can be fragmented are grossly overrated. Internet is technology that was originally developed for military use. It is intended to survive many kinds of attacks. It will sure survive IDNs. This on the joke point. But more seriously, IDNs are in fact just on the presentation layer. I see that most of the people who attend those kind of conferences and policy makings are not actually engineers, and especially on protocols and layering. And they hear some keywords like fragmentation, things like that, and
we don't use the word balkanization here, so as a moderator, I forbid this word.
If more people were taking examples from what happens on the Balkans, I think the world would be a much better place. But that's completely off topic to this. The thing is that since IDNs are only at the presentation layer, this is what the user sees, input and output. The internet is in fact is not affected by the use of IDNs or not use of IDNs. You can visit an Chinese site, for example. You will see a lot of contents in Chinese characters, things that you will probably not understand. And it will completely not matter whether the domain name of that site is presented to you as IDN in Chinese characters, as Punicode in ASCII, or it is an, let's say, original ASCII domain name. You still will not be able to understand the content. And but on the same time, all technologies that you use from internet to access the site, to transmit that data, and so you can see the content, they are still to this day using ASCII, and they have absolutely no idea that the domain name of the site may be presented to you as an IDN name. So this is the point I wanted to make. I think we should probably stop discussing that issue.
Okay, thanks, Daniel. So, Yuri, and we are closing. Yes.
Very shortly. I think that IDNs not fragmented internet. I think that IDNs is our supporting in our efforts for generation national content. It's not fragmentation. It's only development of our segment of our internet.
Thanks, Yuri. Any final thoughts from panelists? Andrew?
I want to say that we should not be so technical as Daniel. And I want to mention once more this, the keyword diversity. It's interesting to work with ID, and it's fun, and it's a business. It's not only a technical solution for the question. And that's why we are discussing not technical problems here, but we discuss the policy, we discuss the marketing, we discuss the government support and the local community support and so on. But I agree with you totally, you are right, but what?
Any other? Okay. Oksana, do we have anything from nothing? So we will... sorry.
Thank you. I would like also to draw your attention to this report. Maybe anybody will be interested in it.
Okay. Yes, okay. So our rapporteur, Anya, will...
Keep it as short as possible,
Yes.
since I've been ordered like that. So I will start with probably the most debatable point here, that the...
wait, just a second. If you don't like, we are going to express our key messages. If you don't like, raise your hand. So, Anya.
So the first one. Other than being names and numbers, IDNs are content. So if you disagree, raise your hand. Are content.
You disagree.
Disagree? Yes.
If you disagree, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, 4. So second one. IDNs have higher value than being addresses. They are strongly related to preserving national identity, culture, and multilingualism. So you all do agree?
Okay.
The third one was mentioned in the closing remarks by Liana, but I think it's worth mentioning. So that the IDNs will unite culture and linguistic diversities, and they are very much related to exercising human rights.
Okay.
We do agree. We need to keep working all together, especially on finding the technical solutions in order to achieve full acceptance of IDNs by all stakeholders.
Maybe universal acceptance.
We do agree. And the last ones, IDNs are all about creating equal opportunities for all human beings, and they can bring us closer to achieving the idea of universal access to internet for all.
Is it okay? Thanks
Thank you.
to all panelists. We are missing already 2. Thank you.